I'd like first of all to read part of a scene from Webster's The Duchess of Malfi. I'm assuming that the plot of this play is known, so even if I knew it myself, I wouldn't have to explain it. A servant comes in and tells the Duchess that she is going to be entertained by some madmen from the local next-door lunatic asylum before she is executed by her sadistic and incestuous brothers. The servant comes in and says, "I am come to tell you, your brother hath intended you some sport. A great physician, when the Pope was sick of a deep melancholy, presented him with several sorts of madmen, which wild object, being full of change and sport, forced him to laugh, and so the imposthume broke. The self-same cure the Duke intends on you." The Duchess says, "Let them come in. There's a mad liar and a secular priest, a doctor that hath forfeited his wits by jealousy, an astrologian that in his works said such a day of the month should be the day of doom, and failing it ran mad. An English tailor crazed in the brain with a study of new fashion, a gentleman usher quite beside himself with care to keep in mind the number of his lady's salutations, or how d'you do she employed each morning. A farmer, too, an excellent knave in grain, mad because he was hindered transportation. And let one broker that's mad loose to these, you'd think the devil were among them. Sit, Cariola. Let them loose when you please, for I am chained to endure all your tyranny. Here, by a madman, this song is sung to a dismal kind of music. Oh, let us howl some heavy note, some deadly dogged howl, sounding as from the threatening throat of beasts and fatal fowl, as ravens, scritch owls, bulls, and bears, we'll bell and bawl our parts, till irksome noise has cloyed your ears and corrosived your hearts. At last, when, as our choir wants breath, our bodies being blessed, we'll sing like swans to welcome death, and die in love and rest." And then the madmen enter. "Doomsday not come yet. I'll draw it nearer by a perspective, or make a glass that shall set all the world on fire upon an instant. I cannot sleep. My pillow is stuffed with a litter of porcupines. Hell is a mere glass house where the devils are continually blowing up women's souls on hollow irons, and the fire never goes out. I will lie with every woman in my parish the 10th night. I will tithe them over like haycocks. Shall my apothecary outgo me because I am a cuckold? I have found out his roguery. He makes alum of his wife's urine and sells it to Puritans that have sore throats with overstraining. I have skill in heraldry. Hast, you do give for your crest a woodcock's head with the brains picked out on it. You are a very ancient gentleman. Greek is turned Turk. We are only to be saved by the Helvetian translation. Come on, sir, I will lay the law to you. Or rather, lay a corrosive, the law will eat to the bone. He that drinks but to satisfy nature is damned. If I had my glass here, I would show a sight should make all the women here call me mad doctor. What's he? A rope maker? No, a snuffling knave that while he shows the tombs will have his hand in a wench's placket. Woe to the caroach that brought home my wife from the mast at 3 o'clock in the morning. It had a large feather bed in it. I have pared the devil's nails 40 times, roasted them in raven's eggs, and cured agues with them. Give me 300 milch bats to make posits to procure sleep. All the college may throw their caps at me. I have made a soap boiler costive. It was my masterpiece. Here the dance consisting of 8 madmen, with music answerable thereunto, after which Bosala, like an old man, enters. The Duchess says, "Is he mad too? Pray question him. I leave you. I am come to make thy tomb. My tomb. Thou speakest as if I lay upon my deathbed. Dost thou perceive me sick? Yes, and the more dangerously, since thy sickness is insensible. Thou art not mad, sure. Dost know me? Yes. Who am I? Thou art a box of worm seed at best, but a salvatore of green mummy. What's this flesh? A little cruded milk, fantastical puff paste. Our bodies are weaker than those paper prisons boys used to keep flies in, more contemptible since ours is to preserve earthworms. Didst thou ever see a lark in a cage? Such is the soul in the body. This world is like her little turf of grass, and the heaven o'er our heads like her looking-glass only gives us a more miserable knowledge of the small compass of our prison. Am I not I, thy Duchess? Thou art some great woman, sure, for riot begins to sit on thy forehead, clad in grey hairs, 20 years sooner than on a merry milkmaid's. Thou sleepest worse than if a mouse should be forced to take up her lodging in a cat's ear. A little infant that breeds its teeth, should it lie with thee, would cry out, as if thou wert the most unquiet bedfellow. I am Duchess of Malfi still. That makes thy sleep so broken. Glories like glowworms afar off shine bright, but looked too near have neither heat nor light. Thou art very plain. My trade is to flatter the dead, not the living. I am a tomb maker. And thou comest to make my tomb? Yes. Let me be a little merry. Of what stuff wilt thou make it? Nay, resolve me first of what fashion. Why do we grow fantastical in our deathbed? Do we affect fashion in the grave? Most ambitiously. Princes' images on their tombs do not lie as they were wont, seeming to pray up to heaven, but with their hands under their cheeks as if they died of the toothache. They are not carved with their eyes fixed upon the stars, but as their minds were wholly bent upon the world. The self-same way they seem to turn their faces. Let me know fully, therefore, the effect of this thy dismal preparation, this talk fit for a charnel. Now I shall enter executioners with a coffin, cords, and a bell. Here is a present from your princely brothers, and may it arrive welcome, for it brings last benefit, last sorrow. Let me see it. I have so much obedience in my blood, I wish it were their veins to do me good. This is your last presence chamber. Oh, my sweet lady. Peace. It affrights not me. I am the common bellman that usually is sent to condemned persons the night before they suffer. Even now thou saidst thou wast a tomb maker. 'Twas to bring you by degrees to mortification. Listen. Hark, now everything is still. The screech owl and the whistler shrill call upon our dame aloud, and bid her quickly don her shroud. Much you had of land and rent, your length in clays now competent. A long war disturbed your mind, here your perfect peace is signed. Of what is fools make such vain keeping, sin their conception, their birth weeping, their life a general mist of error, their death a hideous storm of terror. Strew your hair with powders sweet, don clean linen, bare your feet, and the foul fiend more to check, a crucifix let bless your neck. 'Tis now full tide, 'tween night and day. End your groan and come away. Hence, villains, tyrants, murderers, alas, what will you do with my lady? Call for help. To whom? To our next neighbors. They are mad folk. Remove that noise. Farewell. In my last will I have not much to give. A many hungry guests have fed upon me. Thine will be a poor reversion. I will die with her. I pray thee, look thou givest my little boy some syrup for his cold, and let the girl say her prayers ere she sleep. Now, what you please. What death? Strangler, here are your executioners. I forgive them. The apoplexy, catarrh, or cough of the lungs would do as much as they do. Doth not death fright you? Who would be afraid on it, knowing to meet such excellent company in the other world? Yet methinks the manner of your death should much afflict you, the cord should terrify you. Not to quit. What would it pleasure me to have my throat cut with diamonds, or to be smothered with cassia, or to be shot to death with pearls? I know death hath 10,000 several doors for men to take their exits, and 'tis found they go on such strange geometrical hinges you may open them both ways. Any way, for heaven's sake, so I were out of your whispering. Tell my brothers that I perceive death, now I am well awake. Best gift is they can give, or I can take. I would fain put off my last woman's fight. I'll not be tedious with you. We are ready. Dispose my breath how please you, but my body bestow upon my women, will you? Yes. Pull and pull strongly, for your able strength must pull down heaven upon me. Yet stay, heaven's gates are not so highly arched as princes' palaces. They that enter there must go upon their knees. Come, violent death, serve for mandragora to make me sleep. Go tell my brothers when I am laid out, then they may feed in quiet. They strangle her. Where's the waiting woman? Fetch her. Some others strangle the children. Look you, there sleeps your mistress. Oh, you are damned perpetually for this. My turn is next, is it not so ordered? Yes, and I am glad you are so well prepared for it. You are deceived, sir. I have not prepared for it. I will not die. I will come first to my answer and know how I have offended. Come, dispatch her. You kept her counsel. Now you shall keep ours. I will not die. I must not. I am contracted to a young gentleman. Here's your wedding ring. Let me but speak with the Duke. I'll discover treason to his person. Delays. Throttle her. She bites and scratches. If you kill me now, I am damned. I have not been at confession this 2 years. When? I am quick with child. Why then, your credit saved. Bear her into the next room. They strangled her and bear her away. Enter the Duchess's brother, Ferdinand. Is she dead? She is what you'd have her. But here begin your pity. He shows the children strangled. Alas, how have these offended? The death of young wolves is never to be pitied. Fix your eye here, constantly. Do you not weep? Other sins only speak, murder shrieks out. The element of water moistens the earth, but blood flies upwards and bedews the heavens. Cover her face. Mine eyes dazzle. She died young. I'd like to read some little bit of King Lear. Just 4 small passages. The renunciation of him by the 2 daughters, his mad scene, and when he rediscovers Cordelia. This is Lear and the Fool. Lear says, "How now, my pretty knave, how dost thou?"
"Sirrah, you would best take my coxcomb."
"Why, fool?"
"Why, for taking one's part that's out of favour. Nay, and thou canst not smile as the wind sits, thou'll catch cold shortly. There, take my coxcomb. Why, this fellow hath banished 2 one's daughters, and done the 3rd a blessing against his will. If thou follow him, thou must needs wear my coxcomb. How now, nuncle? Would I had 2 coxcomb and 2 daughters?"
"Why, my boy?"
"I gave them all my living. I keep my coxcombs myself. They're mine. Beg another of my daughters."
"Take heed, sir. The whip."
"Truth is a dog that must to kennel. He must be whipped out when Lady Brack may stand by the fire and stink."
"A pistol and gall to thee."
"I'll teach thee a speech."
"Do."
"Mark it, uncle. Have more than thou showest. Speak less than thou knowest. Lend less than thou owest. Ride more than thou goest. Learn more than thou trowest. Sit less than thou throwest. Leave thy drink a whore, and keep in a door, and thou shalt have more than 2 tens to a score."
"This is nothing, fool."
"Then 'tis like the breath of an unfeed lawyer. You give me nothing for it. Can you make no use of nothing, uncle?"
"Why, no, boy. Nothing can be made of nothing."
"Prithee, tell him so much the rent of his land comes to. He will not believe a fool."
"A bitter fool."
"Dost know the difference, my boy, between a bitter fool and a sweet fool?"
"No, lad. Teach me."
"The Lord that counselled thee to give away thy land, come place him here by me. Do thou for him stand. The sweet and bitter fool will presently appear, the one in motley here, the other one out there."
"Dost thou call me fool, boy?"
"All thy other titles thou hast given away. That thou wast born with."
"This is not altogether fool, my lord."
"No, faiths, lord and great men will not let me. If I had a monopoly on it, they would not have part on it. And ladies, too, they will not let me have all the fool to myself. They'll be snatching. Give me an egg, nuncle, and I'll give thee 2 crowns.
"What 2 crowns shall they be?"
"Why, after I have cut the egg in the middle and ate up the meat, the 2 crowns of the egg. When thou clovest thy crown in the middle and gavest away both parts, thou borest thine ass on thy back o'er the dirt. Thou hadst little wit in thy bald crown when thou gavest thy golden one away. If I speak like myself in this, let me whip that first finds it so. Fools had ne'er less wit in a year, for wise men are grown foppish. They know not how their wits to wear, their manners are so apish.
When were you wont to be so full of song, sirrah?
I have used it, nuncle, ever since thou madest thy daughters thy mother. For when thou gavest them the rod and putst down thy own breeches, then they for sudden joy did weep, and I for sorrow sung, that such a king should play bo peep, and go the fools among. Prithee, uncle, keep a schoolmaster that can teach thy fool to lie. I would fain learn to lie.
And you lie, we'll have you whipped.
I marvel what kin thou and thy daughters are. They'll have me whipped for speaking true. Thou wilt have me whipped for lying, and sometimes I am whipped for holding my peace. I had rather be any kind of thing than a fool, and yet I would not be thee, uncle. Thou hast pared thy wit of both sides and left nothing in the middle. Here comes one of the pairings.
Enter Goneril. How now, daughter? What makes that frontlet on? Methinks you are too much late in the frown.
Thou wast a pretty fellow when thou hadst no need to care for her frown. Now thou art an O without a figure. I am better than thou art now. I am a fool, thou art nothing. Yes, forsooth, I will hold my tongue, so your face bids me, though you say nothing. Mum, mum, he that keeps neither crust nor crumb, weary of all, shall want some. That's a shelled peace god. Not only this, sir, for you're all licensed fool, but others of your insolent retinue do hourly harp and quarrel, breaking forth in rank, and not to be endured riots. Sir, I had thought by making this well known to you to have found a safe redress, but now grow fearful by what yourself too late have spoke and done, that you protect this course and put it on by your allowance, which if you should, the fault would not escape censure, nor the redress sleep, which in the tender of a wholesome weal might in their working do you that offense that else were shame. Then that necessity must call discreet proceeding. For you know, nuncle, the hedge sparrow fed the cuckoo so long that it had its head bit off by its young. So out went the candle, and we were all left darkling.
Are you our daughter?
I would you would make use of that good wisdom whereof I know you are fraught, and put away those dispositions that of late transform you from what you rightly are. May not an ass know when the cart draws the horse? Whoop, jug, I love thee.
Doth any here know me? Why, this is not Lear. Doth Lear walk thus? Speak thus? Where are his eyes? Either his notion weakens, his discernings are lethargid. Waking? 'Tis not so. Who is it that can tell me who I am?
Lear's shadow.
I would learn that, for by the marks of sovereignty, knowledge, and reason, I should be false persuaded I had daughters.
Which they will make an obedient father.
Your name, fair gentlewoman?
Come, sir, this admiration is much of the savor of your other new pranks. I do beseech you understand my purposes aright. As you are old and reverend, should be wise. Here you do keep 100 knights and squires, men so disordered, so debauched and bold, that this our court, infected with their manners, shows like a riotous inn. Epicurism and lust make it more like a tavern or brothel than a great palace. The shame itself doth speak for instant remedy. Be thou desired by her that else would take the thing she begs, a little to this quantity or train, and the remainder that shall still depend, to be such men as may besort your age, that know themselves and you.
Darkness and devils, saddle my horse, call my train together. Degenerate bastard, I'll not trouble thee. Yet have I left a daughter.
You strike my people, and your disordered rabble make servants of their betters.
We that too late repent. Prepare my horses, ingratitude, that marble-hearted fiend, more hideous when thou show'dst in a child than the sea monster. Pray, sir, be patient. Detested kite, thou liest. My train are men of choice and rarest parts, that all particulars of duty know, and in the most exact regard support the worships of their name. O most small fault, how ugly didst thou in Cordelia show, that like an engine wrenched my frame of nature from the fixed place, drew from my heart all love, and added to the gall. O Lear, Lear, beat at this gate that let thy folly in, and thy dear judgment out. Go, go, my people.
My lord, I am guiltless as I am ignorant.
It may be so. Hark, nature, hark, dear goddess. Suspend thy purpose if thou didst intend to make this creature fruitful. Into her womb convey sterility. Dry up in her the organs of increase, and from her derogate body never spring a babe to honor her. If she must teem, create her child of spleen, that it may live and be athwart disfeatured torment to her. Let it stamp wrinkles in her brow of youth, with cadent tears fret channels in her cheeks, turn all her mother's pains and benefits to laughter and contempt, that she may feel how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child. Go, go, my people.
Now, gods that we adore, wherefore comes this? Never afflict yourself to know the cause, but let his disposition have that scope that Duchess gives it.
What? 50 of my followers at a clap within a fortnight?
What is the matter, sir?
I'll tell thee. Life and death. I am ashamed that thou hast power to shake my manhood thus, that these hot tears that break from me beforce should make thee worth them. Blasts and fogs upon thee, the untented woundings of a father's curse pierce every sense about thee. Old fond eyes, beweep this cause again. I'll pluck you out and cast you with the waters that you make to temper clay. Yet have I left a daughter who I am sure is kind and comfortable. When she shall hear this of thee, with her nails she'll flay thy wolfish visage. Thou shalt find that I'll resume the shape which thou dost think I have cast out forever. Thou shalt, I warrant thee. Do you mark that, my lord? I cannot be so partial, Goneril, to the great love I bear you. Come, sir, no more. You more knave than fool after your master. Lear, nuncle Lear, tarry and take the fool with the fox when one has caught her, and such a daughter should sure to the slaughter, if my cap would buy a halter. So the fool follows after. Just one passage when he is renounced by Regan. By both Regan and Goneril together. Goneril says, "Hear me, my lord. What need you 25, 10 or 5, to follow in a house where twice so many have a command to tend you?" Regan says, "What needs one? Oh, reason, not the need. Our basest beggars are in the poorest things superfluous. Allow not nature more than nature needs. Man's life as cheap as a beast's. Thou art a lady. If only to go warm were gorgeous, why nature needs not what thou gorgeous wear'st, which scarcely keeps thee warm. But for true need, you heavens, give me that patience I need. You see me here, a poor old fellow, as full of grief as age, wretched in both. If it be you that stirs these daughters' hearts against their father, fool me not so much to bear it tamely. Touch me with noble anger, and let not women's weapons, water drop, stain my man's cheeks. No, you unnatural hags, I will have such revenges on you both, that all the world shall... I will do such things. What they are, yet I know not, but they shall be the terrors of the earth. You think I'll weep? No, I'll not weep. I have full cause of weeping, but this heart shall break in 100,000 flaws, or ere I'll weep. Oh, fool, I shall go mad. And then he does. And on the heath, the blasted and bloody heath, comes in with a fool and cries, "Blow, winds, and crack your cheeks, rage, blow, you cataracts and hurricanes spout till you have drenched the steeples, drowned the cocks. You sulphurous and thought-executing fires, vaunt quarriers to oak-cleaving thunderbolts, singe my white head, and thou, all-shaking thunder, smite flat the thick rotundity of the world, crack nature's mould, all germins spill at once that make ungrateful men.
O nuncle, caught holy water in a dry house is better than this rainwater at a door. Good nuncle, in, and ask thy daughter's blessing. Here's a night pities neither wise man nor fool.
Rumble thy bellyful, spit fire, spout rain, nor rain, wind, thunder, fire are my daughters. I tax not you, you elements, with unkindness. I never gave you kingdom, called you children, you owe me no subscription. Why then let fall your horrible pleasure? Here I stand, your slave, a poor, infirm, weak, and despised old man. But yet I call you servile ministers that have with two pernicious daughters joined your high engendered battle against a head so old and white as this. Oh, 'tis foul.
He that has a house to put in head in has a good headpiece. The codpiece that will house before the head has any, the head and he shall louse, so beggars marry many. The man that makes his toe what he his heart should make shall of a corn cry woe and turn his sleep to wake. For there was never yet a fair woman but she made mouths in a glass.
No, I will be the pattern of all patience. I will say nothing.
Enter Kent. Who's there? Mary, here's a grace and a codpiece. That's a wise man and a fool. Alas, sir, sit you here. Things that love night love not such nights as these. The wrathful skies gallow the very wanderers of the dark and make them keep their caves. Since I was man, such sheets of fire, such bursts of horrid thunder, such groans of roaring wind and rain I never remember to have heard. Man's nature cannot carry the afflictions nor the force. Let the great gods that keep this dreadful pother o'er our heads find out their enemies now. Tremble, thou wretch, that hast within thee undivulged crimes unwhipped of justice. Hide thee, thou bloody hand, thou perjured and thou similar men of virtue that art incestuous. Caitiff, in pieces shake, that under covert and convenient seeming hast practice on man's life. Close pent-up guilts, rive your concealed centers and cry these dreadful summoners grace. I am a man more sinned against than sinning. Alack, bareheaded. Gracious my lord, hard by here is a hovel. Some friendship will it lend you against the tempest. Repose you there while that I to this hard house, more hard than is the stone whereof 'tis raised, which even but now, demanding after you, denied me to come in. Return and force their scanted courtesy. My wits begin to turn.
Come on, my boy. How dost, my boy? Art cold? I am cold myself. Where is this straw, my fellow? The art of our necessities is strange, that can make vile things precious. Come, your hovel. Poor fool and knave, I have one part in my heart that sorrows yet for thee. He that has a little tiny wit, with hey-ho, the wind and the rain, must make content with his fortunes fit, for the rain it raineth every day. True, my good boy. Come, bring us to this hovel.
Where have I been? Where am I? Fair daylight? I am mightily abused. I should even die with pity to see another thus. I know not what to say. I will not swear these are my hands. Let's see. I feel this pinprick. Would I were assured of my condition. Cordelia. Oh, look upon me, sir, and hold your hands in benediction o'er me. No, sir, you must not kneel. Pray, do not mock me. I am a very foolish, fond old man, 80 years and upward. And to deal plainly, I fear I am not in my perfect mind. Methinks I should know you, and know this man. Yet I am doubtful, for I am mainly ignorant what place this is, and all the skill I have remembers not these garments, nor I know not where I did lodge last night. Do not laugh at me. The speech from Oedipus at Colonus. Endure what life God gives, and ask no longer span. Cease to remember the delights of youth, travel-wearied, aged man. Delight becomes death-longing, if all longing else be vain. Even from that delight memory treasures so, death, despair, division of families, all entanglements of mankind grow, as that old wandering beggar and these God-hated children know. In the long echoing street the laughing dancers throng. The bride is carried to the bridegroom's chamber through torchlight and tumultuous song. I celebrate the silent kiss that ends life short or long. Never to have lived is best, ancient writers say. Never to have drawn the breath of life, never to have looked into the eye of day. The second best, a gay good night, and quickly turn away. Three things. O cruel death, give three things back, sang a bone upon the shore. A child found all a child can lack, whether of pleasure or of rest, upon the abundance of my breast. A bone wave whitened and dried in the wind. Three dear things that women know, sang a bone upon the shore. A man, if I but held him so, when my body was alive, found all the pleasure that life gave. A bone wave whitened and dried in the wind. The third thing that I think of yet, sang a bone upon the shore, is that morning when I met face to face my rightful man, and did after stretch and yawn. A bone wave whitened and dried in the wind. The circus animal's desertion. I sought a theme and sought for it in vain. I sought it daily for 6 weeks or so. Maybe at last, being but a broken man, I must be satisfied with my heart, although winter and summer till old age began, my circus animals were all on show. Those stilted boys, that burnished chariot, lion and woman and the Lord knows what. What can I but enumerate old themes? First, that sea rider Oisin led by the nose through 3 enchanted islands, allegorical dreams, vain gaiety, vain battle, vain repose, themes of the embittered heart, or so it seems, that might adorn old songs or courtly shows. But what cared I that set him on to ride? I, starved for the bosom of his fairy bride. And then the counter-truth filled out its play. The Countess Kathleen was the name I gave it. She, pity-crazed, had given her soul away, but masterful heaven had intervened to save it. I thought my dear must her own soul destroy, so did fanaticism and hate enslave it. And this brought forth the dream, and soon enough, this dream itself had all my thought and love. And when the fool and blind man stole the bread, Cuchulainn fought the ungovernable sea. Heart mysteries there, and yet when all is said, it was the dream itself enchanted me. Character isolated by a deed to engross the present and dominate memory. Players and painted stage took all my love, and not those things that they were emblems of. Those masterful images, because complete, grew in pure mind, but out of what began a mound of refuse or the sweepings of a street, old kettles, old bottles, and a broken can, old iron, old bones, old rags, that raving slut who keeps the till. Now that my ladder's gone. I must lie down where all the ladders start, in the foul rag and bone shop of the heart. Leda and the Swan. A sudden blow, the great wings beating still above the staggering girl, her thighs caressed by the dark webs, her nape caught in his bill. He holds her helpless breast upon his breast. How can those terrified, vague fingers push the feathered glory from her loosening thighs? And how can body laid in that white rush but feel the strange heart beating where it lies? A shudder in the loins engenders there the broken wall, the burning roof and tower, and Agamemnon dead. Being so caught up, so mastered by the brute blood of the air, did she put on his knowledge with his power before the indifferent beak could let her drop? Solomon and the Witch. And thus declared that Arab lady, last night where under the wild moon on grassy mattress I had laid me, within my arms, great Solomon, I suddenly cried out in a strange tongue, not his, not mine. Who understood whatever has been said, sighed, sung, howled, meowed, barked, brayed, belled, yelled, cried, crowed, thereon replied. A cockerel crew from a blossoming apple bough 300 years before the fall, and never crew again till now, and would not now, but that he thought, chance being at one with voice at last, all that the brigand apple brought, and this foul world were dead at last. He that crowed out eternity thought to have crowed it in again. For though love has a spider's eye to find out some appropriate pain, aye, though all passions in the glance, for every nerve and tests a lover with cruelties of choice and chance. And when at last that murder's over, maybe the bride bed brings despair, for each an imagined image brings, and finds a real image there. Yet the world ends when these two things, though several, are a single light, when oil and wick are burned in one. Therefore a blessed moon last night gave Sheba to her Solomon. Yet the world stays. If that be so, your cockerel found us in the wrong, although he thought it worth a crow. Maybe an image is too strong, or maybe is not strong enough. The night has fallen, not a sound in the forbidden sacred grove, unless the petal hits the ground, nor any human sight within it, but the crushed grass where we have lain, and the moon is wilder every minute. Oh, Solomon, let us try again.
Long-legged fly. That civilization may not sink, its great battle lost. Quiet the dog, tether the pony to a distant post. Our master Caesar is in the tent where the maps are spread, his eyes fixed upon nothing, a hand under his head. Like a long-legged fly upon the stream, his mind moves upon silence. Let the topless tires be burnt, and men recall that face. Move most gently if move you must in this lonely place. She thinks part woman, 3 parts a child, that nobody looks. Her feet practice a tinker shuffle, picked up on a street. Like a long-legged fly upon the stream, her mind moves upon silence. That girls at puberty may find the first Adam in their thought. Shut the door of the Pope's chapel, keep these children out. There on that scaffolding reclines Michelangelo, with no more sound than the mice make. His hand moves to and fro, like a long-legged fly upon the stream. His mind moves upon silence.
The 3 bushes. Said lady once to lover, none can rely upon a love that lacks its proper food. And if your love were gone, how could you sing those songs of love? I should be blamed, young man. Oh, my dear. Oh, my dear. Have no lit candles in your room, that lovely lady said, that I at midnight by the clock may creep into your bed. For if I saw myself creep in, I think I should drop dead. Oh, my dear. Oh, my dear. I love a man in secret, dear chambermaid, said she. I know that I must drop down dead if he stop loving me. Yet what could I but drop down dead if I lost my chastity? Oh, my dear. Oh, my dear. So you must lie beside him and let him think me there, and maybe we are all the same where no candles are, and maybe we are all the same that strip the body bare. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. But no dogs barked, and midnight chimed, and through the chime she'd say, that was a lucky thought of mine, my lover looked so gay. But heaved a sigh if the chambermaid looked half asleep all day. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. No, not another song, said he, because my lady came a year ago for the last time at midnight to my room, and I must lie between the sheets when the clock begins to chime. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. A laughing, crying, leching song, a sacred song, they said. Did ever men hear such a song? No, but that night they did. Did ever man ride such a race? No, not until he rode. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. But when his horse had put its hoof into a rabbit hole, he dropped upon his head and died. His lady saw it all, and dropped and died thereon, for she loved him with all her soul. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. The chambermaid lived long and took their graves into her charge, and there 2 bushes planted that when they had grown large seemed sprung from but a single root. So did their roses merge. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. When she was old and dying, the priest came where she was. She made a full confession. Long looked he in her face, and oh, he was a good man and understood her case. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear. He bade them take and bury her beside her lady's men, and set a rose tree on her grave, and now none living can, when they have plucked a rose there, know where its roots began. Oh, my dear, oh, my dear.
The second part of a dialogue of self and soul. A living man is blind and drinks his drop. What matter if the ditches are impure? What matter if I live it all once more? Endure that toil of growing up, the ignominy of boyhood, the distress of boyhood changing into man, the unfinished man and his pain brought face to face with his own clumsiness, the finished man among his enemies. How in the name of heaven can he escape that defiling and disfigured shape the mirror of malicious eyes casts upon his eyes, until at last he thinks that shape must be his shape? And what's the good of an escape if honor find him in the wintry blast? I am content to live it all again, and yet again, if it be life to pitch into the frog spawn of a blind man's ditch, a blind man battering blind men, or into that most fecund ditch of all, the folly that man does or must suffer if he woos a proud woman not kindred of his soul. I am content to follow to its source every event in action or in thought, measure the lot, forgive myself the lot. When such as I cast out remorse, so great a sweetness flows into the breast, we must laugh and we must sing. We are blessed by everything. Everything we look upon is blessed.
For Anne Gregory. Never shall a young man thrown into despair by those great honey-colored ramparts at your ear love you for yourself alone, and not your golden hair. But I can get a hair dye and set such color there, brown or black or carrot, that young men in despair may love me for myself alone and not my yellow hair. I heard an old religious man but yesternight declare that he had found a text to prove that only God, my dear, could love you for yourself alone and not your yellow hair.
MacNeice, the Libertine. In the old days, with married women's stockings twisted round his bedpost, he felt himself a gay dog, but now his liver has begun to groan. Now that pickups are the order of the day, oh, leave me easy, leave me alone. Voluptuary in his teens and cynic in his 20s, he ran through women like a child through growing hay, looking for a lost toy whose capture might atone for his own guilt and the cosmic disarray. Oh, leave me easy, leave me alone. He never found the toy and has forgotten the faces, only remembers the props, a scent spray beside the bed or a milk-white telephone. Oh, leave me easy, leave me alone. Long fingers over the gunwale, hair in a hairnet, furs in January, cartwheel hats in May, and after the event, the wish to be alone. Angels, goddesses, bitches, all have edged away. Oh, leave me easy, leave me alone. So now, in middle age, his erotic program torn in two. If after such a delay an accident should offer him his own fulfillment in a woman, still he would say, oh, leave me easy, leave me alone. Barker, News of the World. In the first year of the last disgrace, peace, turning her face away, coughing in laureled fires, weeping, drags out from her hatcheted heart the sunset acts of the day. And leaning up against the red sky, she mourns over evening cities. The milky morning springs from her mothering breast. I am the wife of the workman world, with an apron full of children, and happy, happy any hovel was, with my helping hand under his gifted head, and for my sleep his shoulder. I wish that the crestfallen stars would fall out of his drunken eye and strike my children cold. I wish the big sea would pity them and pity me and smother us all alike. Bitter sun, put out your lions as I have put out my hope. For he will take them in his clever hand and teach them how to dismember love, just as though it was Europe. Oh, washing board time, my hands are sore and the backs of the angels ache. For the red-handed husband has abandoned me to drag his coat in front of his pride, and I know my heart will break. In the first year of the last disgrace, peace turning her face away, coughing in fire and laurels, weeping, bared again her butchered heart to the sunrise act of the day. To the Mare at the Keyhole. Grill me some bones, said the cobbler, some bones, my pretty Sue. I'm tired of my lonesome with heels and soles, spring sides and uppers too. A mouse in the wainscot is nibbling, a wind in the keyhole drones, and a sheet webbed over my candle, Susie. Grill me some bones. Grill me some bones, said the cobbler, as I sat at my tic-tac-toe, and a footstep came to my door and stopped, and a hand groped to and fro, and I peered up over my boot and lust, and my feet went cold as stone. I saw an eye at the keyhole, Susie. Grill me some bones. MacNeice, the novelette. He had fought for the wrong causes, had married the wrong wife, had invested rashly, had lost his health and his reputation, his fortune and his looks, who in his youth had gone walking on the crown of the road under delectable trees and over irresponsible moors to find the rainbow's end, and was now at 49 living in a half-timbered cottage with a pale mistress and some gardening books and a life of Napoleon. When she left him, he took the shears and clipped the hedge, and then, taking a shotgun as if for duck, went out walking on the crown of the road. Davies, A Woman's History. When Mary Price was 5 years old and had a bird that died, she laid its body under flowers and called her friends to pray to God and sing sad hymns for hours. When she, before her 15th year, was ruined by a man, the neighbors sought him out and said, "You'll come along and marry her or hang till you are dead." When they had found the child he wronged and playing with her doll, "I'll come along with you," said she, "but I'll not marry anyone unless my doll's with me." With no more love seat in her than the wax upon her arm, with no more love light in her eyes than in the glass eyes of her doll, nor wonder nor surprise. When Mary Price was 35 and he was lying dead, she wept as though her heart would break, but neighbors winked to see her tears fall on a lover's neck. Now Mary Price is 75 and skinning eels alive. She, active, strong, and full of breath, has caught the cat that stole an eel and beaten it to death. Florence, whales weep not. They say the sea is cold, but the sea contains the hottest blood of all, and the wildest, the most urgent. All the whales in the wider deeps, hot are they, as they urge on and dive beneath the icebergs. The right whales, the sperm whales, the hammerheads, the killers, there they blow, hot, wild, white breath out of the sea. And they rock through the sensual, ageless ages on the depth of the seven seas, and through the salt they reel with drunk delight, and in the tropics tremble they with love, and roll with massive, strong desire like gods. Then the great bull lies up against his bride in the blue deep of the sea, as mountain pressing on mountain in the zest of life. And out of the inward roaring of the inner red ocean of whale blood, the long tip reaches strong, intense, like the maelstrom tip, and comes to rest in the clasp and the soft, wild clutch of a she-whale's fathomless body. And over the bridge of the whale's strong phallus, linking the wonder of whales, the burning archangels under the sea keep passing back and forth, from him to her, from her to him, great cherubim that wait on whales in mid-ocean, suspended in the waves of the sea, great heaven of whales in the waters, old hierarchies. And enormous mother whales lie dreaming, suckling their whale-tender young, and dreaming with strange whale eyes wide open in the waters of the beginning and the end. And bull whales gather their women and whale calves in a ring when danger threatens on the surface of the ceaseless flood, and range themselves like great fierce seraphim facing the threat, encircling their huddled monsters of love. And all this happiness in the sea, in the salt where God is also love, but without words. And Aphrodite is the wife of whales, most happy, happy she. And Venus among the fishes skips and is a she-dolphin. She is the gay, delighted porpoise, sporting with love and the sea. She is the female tunny fish, round and happy among the whales, and dense with happy blood, dark rainbow bliss in the sea.
Auden, September the 1st, 1939.
I sit in one of the dives on 52nd Street, uncertain and afraid as the clever hopes expire of a low, dishonest decade. Waves of anger and fear circulate over the bright and darkened lands of the earth, obsessing our private lives. The unmentionable odor of death offends the September night. Accurate scholarship can unearth the whole offense from Luther until now that has driven a culture mad. I and the public know what all school children learn. Those to whom evil is done do evil in return. Exiled Thucydides knew all that a speech can say about democracy, and what dictators do, the elderly rubbish they talk to an apathetic grave, analyzed all in his book, The Enlightenment Driven Away, the habit-forming pain, mismanagement and grief. We must suffer them all again. Into this neutral air, where blind skyscrapers use their full height to proclaim the strength of collective man, each language pours its vain competitive excuse. But who can live for long in an euphoric dream? Out of the mirror they stare, imperialism's face and the international wrong. Faces along the bar cling to their average day. The lights must never go out, the music must always play. All the conventions conspire to make this fort assume the furniture of home, lest we should see where we are, lost in a haunted wood, children afraid of the night, who have never been happy or good. The windiest, militant, trash, important person shout is not so crude as our wish. What Mad Nijinsky wrote about Diaghilev is true of the normal heart, for the error bred in the bone of each woman and each man craves what it cannot have, not universal love, but to be loved alone. From the conservative dark into the ethical life, the dense commuters come, repeating their morning vow, I will be true to the wife, I'll concentrate more on my work, and helpless governors awake to resume their compulsory game. Who can release them now? Who can reach the deaf? Who can speak for the dumb? Defenseless under the night, our world in stupor lies. Yet dotted everywhere, ironic points of light flash out wherever the just exchange their messages. May I, composed like them of Eros and of dust, beleaguered by the same negation and despair, show an affirming flame.
The clock strikes 11. Ah, Faustus, now hast thou but one bare hour to live, and then thou must be damned perpetually. Stand still, you ever-moving spheres of heaven, that time may cease and midnight never come. Fair nature's eye, rise again and make perpetual day. Or let this hour be but a year, a month, a week, a natural day, that Faustus may repent and save his soul. The stars move still, time runs, the clock will strike, the devil will come, and Faustus must be damned. Oh, I'll leap up to my God, who pulls me down. See where Christ's blood streams in the firmament. One drop would save my soul, half the drop. Oh, my Christ, rend not my heart for naming of my Christ. Yet will I call on him. Oh, spare me, Lucifer. Where is it now? 'Tis gone, and see where God stretcheth out his arm and bends his ireful brows. Mountains and hills come and fall on me, and hide me from the heavy wrath of God. No, then will I run headlong into the earth. Gape, oh no, it will not harbor me. You stars that reigned at my nativity, whose influence has allotted death and hell, now draw up Faustus like a foggy mist into the entrails of yon laboring clouds, that when they vomit forth into the air, my limbs may issue from their smoky mouths, so that my soul may but ascend to heaven. Half the hour is past. 'Twill all be past anon. O God, if thou wilt not have mercy on my soul, yet for Christ's sake, whose blood hath ransomed me, impose some end to my incessant pain. Let Faustus live in hell 1,000 years.
100,000, and at last be saved. Oh, no end is limited to damned soul. Why wert thou not a creature wanting soul? Oh, why is this immortal that thou hast? Ah, Pythagoras' metempsychosis, were that true, this soul should fly from me, and I be changed unto some brutish beast. All beasts are happy, for when they die, their souls are soon dissolved in elements. But mine must live, still to be plagued in hell. Cursed be the parents that engendered me. No, Faustus, curse thyself. Curse Lucifer that hath deprived thee of the joys of heaven. Oh, it's dry. It's dry. Now, body, turn to air, or Lucifer will bear thee quick to hell. Oh, soul, be changed into little water drops and fall into the ocean, ne'er to be found. My God, look not so fierce on me. Adders and serpents, let me breathe a while. Ugly hell, gape not. Come not, Lucifer. I'll burn my books.